What is going on, everybody? It is your boy, your man, back at it with another video, and today we are dropping my spoiler review of Venom: The Last Dance. And if you guys do not want spoilers about the movie, click off this video right now and be sure to check out my Venom: The Last Dance spoiler-free review that I posted yesterday. And also, don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because number one, it's absolutely free. Number two, also maybe I'll put the YouTube back on the market a bit. More people, maybe they can join. Yeah. And do feel free to comment your spoiler thoughts of the movie down below. With that being said, guys, let's get right into it. And let's go. And also, I'll try to remember the movie as much as I possibly can. So, having walked out of the movie on Thursday of an early showing, I thought it was good. I would say I liked it. I had a fun time with it. Would I say it's like a great movie? No. Good movie, I'm mixed back and forth. Anyways, but overall I had a decent time with it, and I think it is, I don't know, it might be my favorite out of the trilogy. We'll just have to see where I land tomorrow when I'm ranking all three of the movies. But, let's just recap the movie, shall we? So, the beginning of the film starts off with a exposition dump of Noel, and telling you who he is, basically, and giving the backstory of how he ended up being in the prison, basically, and all the symbiotes ended up turning on him and sending him there. Which, overall, I actually thought that was a pretty good... Was that a voice crack? I couldn't tell. I overall thought that was actually a pretty good opening sequence or scene. I thought that was pretty well done. Now, unfortunately, the rest of the movie does not really hype up Noel, unfortunately, because I only found out about Noel probably like a year ago, maybe, sometime like that, so I'm not... I do know more about him now, but I don't know a whole lot about him back in back last year when I found out who he was. But this time, they didn't really hype him up with that. That opening sequence, I was thinking, oh, they're gonna hype him up, but he's not in the movie for until later on in the post-credit scene, which we'll eventually talk about. So after that, it eventually cuts back to the Venom: The Last Dance. It cuts back to Venom and Eddie at a bar, and it's recapping, doing basically the same exact thing that happens at the end of Spider-Man: No Way Home, where Tom Hardy and Venom end up both being there, and also they end up getting thrown back into their universe, which they reshot and edited some stuff, because in the original post-credits scene for Spider-Man: No Way Home, where Venom and Eddie are there and they eventually get sucked back into their universe, they say that, oh, I can't wait to meet maybe we should go introduce ourselves to that Spider-Man, this Spider-Man. And, they completely removed the line out of the movie, so it's not there anymore, and they just end up getting taken back to their original world. And also that when they actually go back to their original world, it's not the same exact way they get taken away from Spider-Man: No Way Home. And in Spider-Man: No Way Home, they kind of just faded, but this time they get sucked through a portal and get thrown back into their universe, which I overall just thought that was really weird. And I'm pretty sure that was because of the writer's strikes that happened later last year. That's why they weren't in the movie anymore, possibly. So, but yeah, overall I just thought that was very weird. But it was funny when they eventually went back to their universe and Venom goes, "Oh, I hate this multiverse." Expletive or crap, whatever term you prefer. Keeping it family friendly here, but I thought that was pretty funny, because that's the second movie this year that's made fun of the multiverse for all the Marvel movies, so that was pretty funny to see that. While also the dude at the bar, the multiverse version of him, is freaked out going, how did you guys get here? So then Eddie and Venom end up both just making a alcoholic beverage of some sorts, while the guy's just looking like, what's going on? What's going on with Eddie and Venom? All Venom's arms out while fixing a beverage, kind of like what he did in Venom Let There Be Carnage when he was fixing Eddie a big feast after he got back home from, of course, finding out that his ex-wife is engaged to someone else. So in the last movie, so that was kind of what it brought me flashbacks of. So then they leave the bar, which I'll get to the action sequence in a second, but before we got, well, yeah, we'll go to the action sequence first, because that's timeline order. I'm trying to go timeline order. So they end up basically going to the, I don't know what you would necessarily call it, like a hidden underground base of some sorts, which we all saw in the trailers, which there's a big gang of some sorts, that have these dogs as well there, that are trapped there. So Venom and Eddie go into there and basically set the dogs free, and then we have the first action sequence of the movie, which I think overall was might be my second favorite, or my first favorite, action sequence of the film. It might be, I think this one definitely has the best action out of the three, maybe. It's very closely tied with Let There Be Carnage, with that final fight scene between Venom and Carnage, so I'll admit that. So they end up killing all the dudes, biting all their heads off, so... While also, when they eventually exit out, you get a little first glimpse of the, I think Xenofangs? Is that what? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. The Xenofangs. So those are the big kind of spider, symbiotic creatures. So, and they throughout most of the movie were quite menacing and indestructible. I thought though they were kind of cool, but even though most of the villains in this movie were just minions, so that sucks. So then it eventually also cuts back to the bar with I'm too tired for this. The guy that is the bartender or whatever. Yeah, the bartender. Why did I forget about that? Basically, a part of the symbiote was left there too, while you eventually get, while in that same scene, you also get introduced to Chitwell Ejiofor's new Marvel character, which last time he was Baron Mordo, and this time he's just this generic military guy, which, to be fair, I think him and Tom Hardy are the only actors that do really good in here, or do amazingly in here, unlike some others. And also I thought the hippie family, more importantly, the guy that plays the lizard, that plays the main hippie dad, he did good too. But he did pretty decently, so, and he takes a canister of the leftover Venom, so while they're trying to hunt down Eddie Brock and Venom. So now we cut to, I believe, Eddie and Venom on a plane, where it reveals that Venom, if he fully comes out and is kind of, if he's fully come out, the Xenothing will find him and try to kill him and get the thing so Noel can come, which Venom, so throughout this whole entire movie, you find out that he has this sort of stone in the back of his neck that alerts Noel and the creatures, and basically either Eddie or Venom has to die for Noel for the stone to be destroyed. One of them has to die. So, and if they keep on being Venom, Noel will eventually come to Earth. So that's what basically happens during this movie. So they end up, you get a funny gag with them hanging on the side of the plane with Eddie going, "Oh, my tongue's so dry." I need water, because he's hanging on the side of the plane so long. While Venom also gives a wink to the passengers as well, with the creature sending them flying off the plane, which they get into the desert. So, while also Venom is explaining to Eddie who Noel is while they're walking through the desert. I forgot if I don't know where the specific scene takes place, so I'll just talk about that. Yeah, so you get this new character introduced here. She's a doctor type character. And I didn't think she was well acted. No harm against the actress or anything. I don't want no beef, but it's just I don't think she did good. Or the way the character was written, I don't think was acted good. I don't think the character overall was written good. So there's these weird flashbacks you get with her character where she and her brother were just admiring this perfect storm outside, with thundering and lightning, and eventually the lightning, while they're trying to run away, strikes the main girl in her flashback and also kills her brother. So, and she gets these superpowers, which eventually happen later on in the movie. So, I thought overall that was very weird. So it cuts back to current day, where to current day, where you get the underground base with the symbiotes and stuff. So also you get reintroduced to Toxin from the last movie. Well, that wasn't Toxin, but this is Toxin, with the same guy from the last movie that got possessed by the end. That was the main police officer. He was possessed again and almost died, but he has a new symbiote, which is of course Toxin, which this time they give him a green sort of skin tone, which notably, if you guys know, in the comics he is mostly reddish orange, and he's an offspring of Carnage. So, and he's actually a good guy. So I thought that was overall very overall very cool to see him back. However, I didn't like how they used him in the movie. They misused Noel, and also they misused Toxin, in my opinion. So there's that. You get a bunch of exposition dialogue from the dude saying, "Oh, Noel's coming," and basically explaining everything. That is just probably some of the worst exposition dumps throughout the whole entire movie. I thought overall the whole entire military side of the movie was kind of boring, and I didn't really want to follow it. So we cut back to Eddie and Venom. They eventually stumble upon the hippie family I was mentioning earlier, that has the same guy that plays Lizard play another character, where they're trying to find out where aliens are. So Eddie and Venom are going, "Oh, really?" So they get a ride to their. So the family is trying to offer him to, because the whole entire movie, I forgot to mention this, Eddie and Venom are trying to get to New York. I forgot what was the reason why they wanted to go to New York. I forgot why. They just end up going into the RV, and the family goes, "Okay, so we're going to Area 51, so we can drop you in Vegas, and then you can go to New York." So that's basically what they do. You get a fun little road trip with Venom and the hippie family, where the hippie family is very energetic, singing songs and stuff. So while Eddie and Venom are going, okay. And Venom's going, "Come on, sing along, buddy." And yeah. Trying to remember what else. So they eventually get to Las Vegas and say goodbye to Eddie and Venom. So, which I thought that was kind of sweet, that whole entire hippie family thing. So, gets dropped off in Las Vegas. You get that scene from the trailers where Eddie and Venom have to knock out a guy to get a suit to get into the casino, because that's the dress code, so you have to have a nice little suit and tie to go into there. So he successfully does that, which we get reintroduced to Mrs. Chen again. That's been in all 3 movies right now, so she pops up again, and here we go. We get into the sequence that where Venom and Mrs. Chen dance and basically reveal their location to the Zeno thing. So, and overall, that was I like Venom and Eddie, but Eddie was saying no, it's gonna find us, and then Venom said, "Oh no, I want to do this." So Venom and Mrs. Chang dance, and the creature ends up going there too and finding them and almost killing Venom and Eddie. And yeah, it was all Venom's fault. I love Venom, but no. Why? Why? I have a feeling probably comics Venom wouldn't even do that. It's just why would you do that? I don't know. They probably just did it because overall you can't actually have full Venom on screen, so you could only get the head of him while talking to Eddie. So overall, it's just So Eddie Venom get captured and get thrown into Area 51 as well, where you also get where okay, I'll admit. I did go to the bathroom during the scene, so I couldn't really find out. I kind of forgot. I kind of don't know what was happening. I'm pretty sure Venom somehow escapes, latches himself onto a random person, and eventually finds Eddie again and latches himself onto Eddie yet again. So where they try to escape, you get the Thing ends up finding them anyways. The Thing actually followed the military escorts for Area 51 and ended up going in there. So, now it's in there, and there's nowhere to run. Eddie and Venom have to escape now, which gets us into our crazy, awesome final fight, which of course is the where all the symbiotes, you find out they're actually good guys, and they all latch themselves onto random people to help Venom and kill this thing, or at least attempt to. Which I also forgot to mention this, Toxin ended up sacrificing himself for Venom, so Venom and Eddie could escape, which overall, I was disappointed with what they did with Toxin in this movie. All the symbiotes die by the Xenofang, so in brutal ways too, and also humans die too. I forgot to mention that the Xenofangs, when they kill all the humans in this, it pushes the PG-13 rating. It gets close to R with its kills sometimes, where it gobbles basically the humans up, then all the blood and guts and stuff flings at the back of its head, so out the back of its head. So overall, I thought that was very gnarly and effective. So they did good with that, and I'm glad they were pushing the PG-13 rating. So almost all the symbiotes are dead now. There's only this Christmas tree symbiote and Venom and Eddie left. They saved the hippie family that ended up finding Area 51 anyways. They get saved. They get they go and survive. Eddie and Venom are in the back of the helicopter. Eddie's hurt real bad, and Eddie and Venom basically go, "All right, let's just do this." So they end up going full Venom form. Venom and Eddie are sacrificing themselves appear, but Venom ends up creating a web and getting these two creatures, the Xenofangs, Eddie and him, in this web of the symbiosis where Venom is dragging everyone to a acid thing that was happened earlier where it melts stuff. So he drags himself there, but before he can do so, he ends up throwing Eddie out of the pile so Eddie can survive. Venom ends up sacrificing himself and getting him and the creatures killed. Which, overall, I was very surprised they actually killed off Venom in here. I was not expecting them to do that. I was at least expecting them... I was thinking maybe they can kill off Eddie, but I don't know if they would do that. And they ended up killing off Venom, which I did not see coming. So, after Venom's sacrifice cuts to modern day, Eddie's in the hospital. So, since Eddie was on the run earlier, he is cleared of all of his charges because he saved the universe. He is trying to talk to Venom in his head, and there's no Venom in his head anymore. Eddie's all alone. He ends up accomplishing the goal that him and Venom originally had in mind, where they end up going to New York City, and you get memories playing by Maroon 5, which, while also showing recaps of the last few movies and nice little memories from those movies. While at the end of the movie, Eddie says, looks at the Statue of Liberty and says, I'll never forget you, buddy. Even though Venom's not there anymore, of course. So, and that's where the movie ends, which, overall, I thought that was a very effective ending. I almost got teary-eyed, but I didn't end up crying. But overall, it was I thought that was a really good way to end this trilogy that isn't well regarded, but overall it was a very satisfying ending for me. Now. Post-credit sequences. Alright. So the first one we get is a post-credit scene of Noel, who hasn't popped up since the beginning of the movie, with its montage explaining who Noel is and why he's locked up. There's a post-credit scene, and also I forgot to mention Noel basically is like this the whole entire time during the movie. That's all you see of him. So you wait to go to the post-credit scene, right? So he's just doing this the whole entire time, and he says, the King in Black is ready to strike. So then you get a glimpse of his face where he gets a CGI motion capture face, which is honestly, it kind of reminded me of the one dude from the Eternals movie, but of course that guy's green. So I was overall mixed on the actual character. Andy Serkis in here was just here for a cup of coffee. He really wasn't in here much, so I don't know why they even announced that he was Noel, so that's pretty unfortunate, but he will have a bigger role in the future movies that he is in, so yeah, overall, I think I'm mixed about that one. It's just, yeah, you're setting him up, but it would have been a lot better if he was in the movie a little bit more. Then maybe I would say, oh, this is a good post-credit scene, and no, I wouldn't say so. You wait, and you go to the second post-credit scene, which... It's, I wouldn't say it's on the level Morbius and Vulture bad post-credit scene from the Morbius movie, which overall I do think Morbius is okay, but that post-credit scene, I agree with everyone. That one's crap. This one, you get the bartender guy that also, I forgot to mention, was captured earlier too. He ends up walking out of a cave because the whole entire Area 51 is destroyed. You see him walking, crying out for help, going, oh, somebody help me, somebody help me. While it zooms out and you see him still walking, you get a close-up of a cockroach, which the cockroach was a metaphor was used in a line earlier in the movie. So you see it go near a red canister with Venom supposedly or another symbiote being inside, and maybe it'll latch itself onto the cockroach, which if it's Venom, that totally undoes the ending of the movie. So I'll get back. I'll get to what I think they're setting up in 1 minute. I also forgot to mention in the final battle sequence also that lightning girl the lightning girl person or whatever, she ends up being this purple symbiote with long hair that kind of looks like Scream from the comics. And she ends up turning into that, saving her friends. So, which I had a feeling she was gonna be in the movie, because if in Fortnite they dropped that skin in the movies in the item shops, I was going, okay, they're gonna have this skin in the movie. So, what do you know, they did. Anyways, forgot to mention that. Sorry, guys. Now, what do I think this movie's setting up? And I hate this idea, but well, before I get to that, I will mention as well, Sony the other day announced maybe that they might, or a scooper online said that maybe they will be doing a Null movie, which, like a Null solo movie, I don't think a whole lot of people are going to go to see that. I mean, I'm very curious what the backstory could be for him, but well, it's not gonna be a prequel, but it's gonna be a current day movie, which it's just, what are you gonna do? Because Null's gonna be the main villain in Spider-Man 4, so it's just now as to what I was referring to earlier. Where do I think this movie's gonna go? I hate this theory that I came up with it in my head, but I don't know. It's unlikely, but maybe it could happen. So, Kraven the Hunter obviously comes out December of this year, right? I have a feeling, I don't know why, the canister maybe that has Venom that latches itself onto the cockroach might end up finding Kraven and latching it onto Kraven, just like it does in the comics. Which, I don't know why I came up with this. I think, I might be just delusional, but I feel that could be what they're setting up. If they want to make their audience angrier, that's the way to do it, because, yeah, they might end up doing that, and Kraven maybe gets involved in Spider-Man 4 somehow, or the symbiote just ends up going back to Eddie, and Eddie and Venom both be in Spider-Man, will be in Spider-Man 4 again, and that will be their last appearance together. But it's been very clear by Tom Hardy that he said this is the last movie of Venom. So, I mean, maybe he can pop up in Spider-Man 4. I don't know. But this is just where my brain latches onto. That possibly Kraven could be in Spider-Man 4 with the Venom symbiote, because Eddie and Venom are separated now. And they ended that. They ended the movie really well. However, guys, that is just my thoughts on Venom: The Last Dance. Sorry if I rambled a couple times during this movie. Be sure to let me know if I missed anything down below and your speculations about what's gonna happen in the rest of the Sonyverse. But with that being said, guys, I'll see y'all next one, everybody. Peace out.